Hi everybody, and welcome back to Story Behind the Story. I'm your host, Keegan Cooper, and with me, Corbin Smith. It's your first time on SBS. What's going through your mind? Are you excited? How do you feel?
Right now I'm a little nervous because I've never been interviewed for anything I've done, so it's kind of scary.
That's okay. That's perfectly fine. Everybody's nervous kind of when they're getting interviewed and questions are getting asked to them.
Mm-hmm.
But you had the chance to sit down with Jake Walker and really hear a very interesting story. So what was that like? And tell us a little bit about his story, and kind of what he went through and the decision process and making those choices.
All right, so I first heard about Jake through Coach Beatty, the cross-country coach. He mentioned him, and so he said something about his junior year not choosing not to run cross-country to be in the musical, and I was like, that's kind of an interesting take. So the next week I decided to follow up. I called Jake myself, asked him a couple questions, and he said the reason he chose to go for the musical his junior year, is because, well, there's no reason. He just had always had that itch to be in the theatrical production since freshman year, but he didn't know that he wanted to do it until his junior year, and he decided, I'm going to step back from cross country, and then he finally decided to be in the play.
And that's truly amazing. I mean, we see a successful athlete in Jake making a choice, a decision, we say, to do something that he was passionate about, and that's really what high school and college is about. So as an athlete, did you get the chance? Does he miss it? What's kind of going through his head? Because, doing something for so long and then putting it down, what was that like?
So at first he was kind of, back and forth about the decision his junior year, but then he realized that, this is something he wanted to try out, so he just went full send, I guess you could say, and didn't even look back. He was really upset that he missed the state run that they had junior year, so he missed out on being able to be an athlete at state and, compete with his friends. But he's really happy to be back this year because he missed all of those things last year, so he really wants to help the team get back to their glory and go back to another state championship.
Yeah, definitely. Being able to compete with a group of people, your team, is something that not a lot of people get to do. So I know we hope to see Jake be able to compete and kind of make those accomplishments through athletics.
Mm-hmm.
But as we turn on the flip side, if we're looking and talking about the musical, can you tell us a little bit about the musical that he's in and where that path has taken him so far?
All right, so he starred as a lead role as Buddy the Elf in Elf the Musical, the hit movie from 2003 with Will Ferrell. And it was an interesting trip for him because he really liked it, but he didn't really get along with his co-stars very often. So he was really good at memorizing his lines and going through and being confident on stage. He said a couple times in our interview that he was confident on stage, and he didn't have an issue with that. But he kind of got sick of being on stage, and he kind of missed the camaraderie of being out on the running courses with his teammates and everything. So as much as he enjoyed it, it was nice, but once he got to step back from it, he realized theater isn't exactly for him because the type of people that he was around don't really fit what he wanted to be surrounded by.
Yeah, and that is what life is all about, is finding your niche of what you like to do. And so taking a break from things that you've done all your life and finding those new things. So Jake was able to try out theater and figured out that it wasn't for him, but he still found that camaraderie with cross country and being back on that team. Did he say anything about his expectations for this season or what he hopes to do or goals that he has set?
So he really wants to get back to where he was sophomore year, where obviously his last time running, and he wants to improve off of it. So he really made it prominent that he wants to break the 20-minute barrier in the 5K, and he wants to try and make himself a better runner, but as well as a better person, and kind of get to state with his team.
That's awesome. Well, I know I'm rooting for Jake. I know you are, and everybody else in the community. It's an amazing story that we got to hear. I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come talk with us, Corbin.
Thank you for having me.
Your first time on SBS. Hope to see you back here.
I did it.
We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back with some more Story Behind the Story. I'm Keegan Cooper.